What experience do you have in planning activities that will help you to be more efficient in your position as the Vice President of Activities? Alexandra, you can go first.
Sure. So I've done a lot of activities. It's true that I haven't done any in the CSA, but in high school, for 3 years, I've organized activities and hosted them. In my personal life, I've organized a lot of events as well. And I've also been in Relay for Life this year, which unfortunately had to get canceled, but I was in charge of activities and I had come up with a bunch of different activities, fundraisers, to raise money and awareness for the cause for cancer, but we didn't have the opportunity to actually show them. But at least I got the opportunity to help out with the carnival, and I was the one that was in charge of the Relay for Life booth and that organized it and made sure that everything was perfect for the day up.
Okay, great. Well, as some of you may know, I was the previous VP assistant to the VP activities. So I'm very familiar with the position and I have helped to participate in almost every activity that was organized for the past 2 semesters. When it started out, I was supposed to only organize the free breakfasts, but I ended up participating in organizing almost everything. Especially when the VP activities last semester quit, I really had to step up, and it was Distress Week that was coming up, so I really had to help organize almost every activity. Of course, I had a lot of help from the executives in the CSA, but I guess it really helped me to understand what the position is and what it really requires. And I'm also very used to, working with Sheila to organize the activities and fill up the forms and things like that. And I already know many of the companies, like I explained in my video, Mr. Puff, the puppies, the massages, I have already talked to them. So I guess I'm very familiar with the position, and yeah.
Okay, thank you. Second question, it is, what kind of activities do you want to put more emphasis on, and how do you plan to increase social and environmental sustainability within the Champlain community and at CSA events? Geneviève, you may answer first.
Okay, so for me, there isn't really an activity that I really want to put some emphasis on, because for me, it's very important that every student, even though like everyone is different, that they can have an activity that they can really appreciate. So that means that, for the people that like music, we could do more, we could give out more concert tickets like we did for the Jonas Brothers last semester. And I think that students really appreciated that. So we could keep doing that. Or, for students that like to shop, well, maybe we could give out more gift cards when people participate to our events. And people that like food, well, we could do, like I said in my promises, more bigger free breakfast and giveaway, or not giveaway, but have like food caterers that would come and things like that. I really want to make sure that more minors can attend to our out-of-campus activities, because I know that most of the students are not necessarily 18 or older, so they couldn't come to our events when they were at bars, but I know that there are certain bars that also allow minors, so I think that that would be really great if we did that. And for the environment part of the question, I think that it's very important that the CSA gets more and more sustainable every year. I'm sure, well, we were already pretty well with the sustainable norms, but I think that there's always room for improvement. So I think that we could do more food trucks that are sustainable and also vegan friendly and gluten free. Not only is it better for the environment, but also for the students that have some food restrictions. Well, it's great because they can participate and have some food. And when we did the free breakfast, we used the food from Costco. So most of the time the students couldn't, they weren't very sustainable. So I'm sure that we could use more reusable things.
Okay, so this past year, I found that the activities were really awesome, especially the free food, and everybody loves free food. So of course that's something that I want to keep implementing. But also I feel like we have a big opportunity to maybe do some more fundraising or some more activities um, that that are good for a lot of different people. So I want to try and do activities that have a big range. So some activities that are good for gamers, some activities that are more maybe sportive or for people who would like to move and maybe get their mind off things during the day. A lot of stress reducing related activities as well, because we're a very stressed group of students, because we do have a lot of stuff to do. And for the environmental and social causes, I I really want to promote more environmentally friendly activities and show people that you can have fun, or you can change your behavior pretty easily by buying sustainable clothing with maybe a thrift store, or maybe organizing a fun event to go and pick up trash, or like you said, Genevieve, to encourage more vegetarian and vegan options, because I think that's an amazing idea. I'm vegetarian myself, and I feel like a lot of people don't know that it's actually a really good option, and that it's actually tasty, and you could start implementing it in your diet, sorry. And also behind the scenes, I want to try and make sure that when we set up and we clean up the activities, to really reuse everything we have, because I've helped set up multiple activities at the CSA this year, and I saw that it's pretty hard to be as efficient with all of our material as possible. So I want to try and find options and solutions to make sure that we try and reduce what we already have and make the best out of it.
Okay, thank you. Now Megan will be asking the individual questions.
So Alexandra, we'll start with yours.
Okay.
One of your campaign promises is to bring new activities to Champlain by working with other student groups such as the Multicultural Club, Born This Way, and the Indigenous Student Ambassadors. Although you did not mention student athletes, what activities specifically targeting all the communities aforementioned would you like to introduce to Champlain? All whilst ensuring that you stand by your pillars of openness and cooperation to hold events that students actually want.
Okay, that's a really good question. So I think that all these student groups are very unique. So it would be the best to have individual activities or events for each of them to be able to really highlight them in the best way possible. So for example, for the Multicultural Club, this year they did the Multicultural Week, and they were gonna do a fashion show, which unfortunately got canceled. And I think that's an amazing idea. And to implement more activities that show off other cultures. So I think it would be really fun to have some catering come sometimes, maybe like once every 2 months, and offer new food options to people out of different cultures. I don't know, Filipino, Japanese, etc. I think that would be really fun. For athletes, I think that it's true that Champlain, not a lot of people are as invested in their athletes as they should, and they are a big part of the community. So I would really like to do events maybe before matches or after matches to really encourage people and hype them up to have a community and have fun before attending their events. Born This Way, I think it would be maybe fun to do a mini pride parade in the school, have a pride themed day, and have everybody, I don't know, wave around flags, just walk around during free block or something, and really encourage this community, because I think we're a really open-minded generation, and we want to show that we do care about people that are in the LGBTQ plus community, and that we care.
Awesome, thank you very much. So now Genevieve, your question. One of your campaign promises is to include the entire community of Champlain. Another one of your promises is to do more giveaways, such as Osheaga tickets. Considering your promise of making events more inclusive to minors, how do you plan to reconcile inclusive events while spending large amounts of the CSA budget on big artists' concerts, only beneficial to few students?
Well, I think that's a very good question. Maybe we could rearrange the budget and really separate the activities. Yes, I said do like more activities for Oshiaga and things like that. But if we only did like one big concert like Oshiaga and we really hyped it up and made sure that many people would participate, I think that many students would appreciate that. But I guess maybe we have a pretty large budget, so I'm sure we can incorporate it. And I mean, most of the semesters we wouldn't end up spending all of our money, and we have to. So we could use the money that we would still have for activities like that. So yeah, what I meant by doing more activities that are more inclusive, it was like instead of only focusing, because we used to put a lot of emphasis on food. Well, that's what I meant by doing more like activities that like have music and giveaways and things like that. And I think that we could do that by doing activities that, you know, there's a lot of activities that we can do that don't necessarily cost a lot of money. Like we did the friperie that ended up being free when students just give their clothes and then we just swap it and things like that. So we could for sure incorporate more activities like that that don't cost a lot of money and that students could participate like that. And also when we did some activities like Mr. Puff, we would put a lot of money on that, but we would end up having a lot of leftovers after all. So maybe we could like spend a little less money on the food and make sure that yes, the students would have enough, but that it wouldn't necessarily be too much as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool, thank you. Well, that kind of concludes the open forum. So thank you both very much for attending and for answering all these questions very eloquently. I want to wish you both the best of luck as we move into the voting period that starts on Monday and will end on Friday. So by the end of next week, we will have all of the results.